All right, good evening. It's 11 p.m. again, Monday, January 29th, 2018. I'm going to get started with the S&P US 500 ES on the futures contracts. Time frame, the market is up in the monthly, weekly, and daily. So if you haven't taken this trade yet and you are considering, I would definitely be going long, not short. More than likely, just based on my particular support and resistance levels, price would probably come more down to the 28.56-55 area. If it continues to find support here, then it's possibly a good buy. At that point, price will need to break 28.82 in order for price to continue to the upside. From there, if it broke 28.82, then it will be a significant trade, most likely going near levels of 29.14. If you can pretty much see those green lines, a break above the turquoise line would signal a new buy. That does not mean if it break it, then you buy. It just basically, a lot of times with these support and resistance levels, it will break it just shy, and then it will come back down, probably find support at the next level prior, and then it will go up. But if price right now, being that price, as you can see, is kind of in the middle between two different lines, it's not a good buy or sell signal. What I would be looking for is to see if this particular 28.56 holds sometime tomorrow. If it does hold, then you go long, and you can put your stop at the next level. If you don't feel comfortable with putting that stop at a level that low, then you can put it just under the particular support level, and then go from there. A lot of times, if it does find support here at this particular level, it'll get here and it'll find a bit of resistance, and it'll kind of go sideways, a little choppy, and then eventually it'll break. Once it breaks the current top of what is that, 28.72 or whatever, then you may see a little bit of more resistance at 28.77, but price still needs to break 28.82 in order for it to be a signal to the downside. On the other side, if price does not find support here and it comes here, well, the next level of support for a sell signal is 28.42. So being that it's basically consolidating in between two price channels, basically, or two support and resistance levels, and it's 11 o'clock at night. There's really nothing to look forward to, but clearly the move is up. So you would either want to try to see if you can find a move here. If it breaks it, then a move here. But if it breaks this turquoise line, don't look for a short. Don't look for a long. You'll be basically looking for a short. So in that case, let's say if it broke it, and then it's probably going to pull back just a bit, maybe to here or to the 28.56. In that case, then you can look for a short. If it breaks it and barely breaks it just by a few pips, it'll actually be a trade to the upside, because then that will basically signal that this support actually held. So you want to see something impulsively drop, maybe more towards to this particular level. Then you wait for a pullback. Once you wait for that pullback to around back to 28.42 or so, then that will signal your sell signal. I'll try to, in some of these videos, I'm going to try to explain these particular support and resistance level on how to actually take the best trades, basically. So I hope that helped. Be on the lookout for that tomorrow. On the oil, last night I talked about the oil, and I was looking at this. I just started labeling this market on support and resistance yesterday, and here was the trade that was the perfect, if you ask me, because as you can see, price held at 6,500, and right when price went to 6,500, this was a fantastic trade to the upside, from 65 all the way to to 66.45 or so. Now, this was last week, and I wasn't looking at it. What I was looking at was this particular movement here. So then when I put my support levels here, this particular area wasn't here yet. It was up here when I did the video yesterday around the same time. So once I put this, I basically kind of put this particular support level here based on this. And what happened? Price ended up going here and then reversing. So there was two ways to look at this. You can go long here once it found a support here, but as you can see, it found resistance at 65.65. So at that point, then you would have been able to go short. The oil is very volatile, so you have to pretty much be paying attention to these particular support and resistance levels, and it is very difficult to trade the oil and other markets at the same time because it's so volatile, so you have to be careful. All in all, I do know one of my colleagues, I believe he got in the trade at around 65.20, and then he exited it at around 65.55 or so. So I mean, it was still, a decent trade. But as you can see now, if price continues to come down and it breaks 64.50, then that's going to signal a sell. On the other side, if price maybe you got to see what it's going to do here tomorrow, or within the next 3 or 4 hours. If it breaks 65, it could be a pretty good decent trade to the upside, but you want to just be careful once it gets back to 65.85. Price needs to go back to 67.10 in order for anything to be to the upside. So if it did break 67.10, that will signal the next actual uptrend, which will basically go from 67.10 to 68.20. So that's 100 ticks. That's a damn good trade. 68.60 is the next level of resistance from there. And then I think that's all, like 69.70 is what I got after that, and 70.70. So I mean, just looking at this, you can put these particular support and resistance levels, you can color them however you want, and just know that while price is closer to the weekly sell signal, just be careful. It can go either way, and the market is very volatile. Friday is the non-farm payroll, so I don't expect too much. I don't expect anything wild. Maybe Wednesday, it is a full moon, and a lot of times on full moons, if you're into like WD GAN, then it's a lot of volatility. Full moon brings a lot of volatility, according to some of the books I've read on WD GAN's work. But to keep this particular video short and simple, I'm gonna move on. That's a monthly euro. I don't want to talk about that. Bitcoin Cash, it's still consolidating right now, being that it's the only trade would have been to the downside from here once it broke this particular support level, which was like Sunday, and from there, as you can see, it kept going. Most likely price is going to come to this particular level of 15.10, and it may even come to 14.67. If it does not break 14.59, then you have a buy. If it breaks 14.59, it's definitely going to continue lower. Other than that, it's really not a whole lot to talk about Bitcoin Cash or Bitcoin, because it's really not doing anything. But for the sake of just analyzing the particular markets, I'll still talk about it. Clearly on the Bitcoin, btcusd, it's to me, it's in a triangle, and the top of 3 is here. This is the AF triangle. This is the B. This is the first move. This is the second move. This is the third move. We're in a triangle here as A, B, C. The D is not finished. The D most likely should find support and go back up at around 10,400 or so. Somewhere between like 10,005 or 10,450 or 350, between that particular level. That will complete D. And then you'll see wave E, which definitely could not go above the C. So this is why I have wave E probably going to about 11.5. So basically you'll see a move that's currently at 10,938. It should go just a little bit lower. It should find support, and then it should go back up. It should find resistance, and then it'll be a break. And that break could likely go to 8,000, if not 6,000. From there, hopefully, if it finds support, then you should see one more wave up. When will that happen? I don't know, because triangles are consolidating markets, and they tend to take uh, quite a bit of time. So as of right now, I don't see anything. On the flip side, if price was to find support here and it went above the C, then you no longer have a triangle. And what will likely be the case is that this would be wave C of 4, and now you have maybe a 1 here, difficult to count, and then 2, and then maybe another 1, 2, but then you'll need an impulsive wave that's with some extreme volatility to it to see that. Currently, I don't see that, so I'm not sure. That's the least. This the least of the particular trades that will happen. Looking at price on a smaller time frame, let's just see if we just looked at an hour chart. Price needs to break 10,550 in order for it to be a sell signal. Price needs to go above 11,980 to be a buy. This is where both of my turquoise levels are at. Right now, as you can see, it's to the downside. It broke it by what 12,000 to 12.2. So it did break it, but not enough. As you clearly, it went right back down and then found resistance there and just kept on going. So right now it's just, to me, it's in the triangle. There's no clear sell or no clear buy. So until then, I'll continue updating my charts, but just kind of get used to what you see if you are a new trader to Bitcoin. It's now on the market, and this is how it's going to be. That whole volatility ride at the end of last year, and all the amateurs coming in. It was fun while it lasted, but now it's with the big boys now. So you definitely need some advanced trading, some advanced technical analysis to really understand Bitcoin now. You could have a bunch of people out there who claim they know all about cryptocurrencies and the markets, but they get a bunch of YouTube views and all that old stuff, and that's great. But at the end of the day, and if you don't really understand it, if you don't have the education, you're just going to be pretty much hoping that the person that you're following is right. So good luck is all I can say. Moving on to the currencies, the euro. Yesterday at the same time, around this time, I was actually looking for a long, and I was looking to go long at 123.45, which would have been here, about right here. Price actually did go there, but I went short. I went short here, and I sold at 123, 124.25, about right here. Once price in the morning, earlier this morning, got to right here, it actually went back up again, but my stop was still above here, so I never got stopped out. And then price went here to where it was roughly about a little over 80, I think about 85 pips. I thought it would go a little lower, and it actually retraced on me, and I exited with about 75 pips. Upon exiting, I kind of waited for to see if the 123.95 would hold. So far it has, and I waited for price to see what was going to happen here. And once it went back up, I noticed that at that point, price would continue to hold, so I went short at 123.81. My expectations is that price should come down to the 122.65 level. It may find a bit of resistance at a Fibonacci level, support at around 123.20. But if my count is correct, then it could go to about 122.65, maybe 121.90, and then maybe it'll have one more high if this current high is not already in place. 24 pips after 75 pips is what, 100 pips so far in day one of trading of the week. So I can't complain. My average is pretty good. My videos can clearly show that. I don't need to brag. I'm constantly getting 100 pip swings on a weekly basis, if not more. So my analysis is pretty good. I can't complain, and I'm getting better on a daily basis. I don't really need to go into larger time frames today. I kind of did that yesterday, so I'll leave that here. If you haven't gotten in during the Euro time frame, if price may come up here and find resistance, that'll be a good sell. But you will want to put your stop at about 123.86. On the flip side, if it continues to go up, it may come back and find support here again, and then that's where you can actually take a long if it actually if it actually heads up north, basically. We'll see how it's happening tomorrow. I'll have another video. Happy trading.